Hi Office Work champions, welcome to the Office at Work Insider, February 2024. In this episode, we will cover the latest updates to the template chooser, focusing on the integration of document property injections and the enhanced document creation flow. My name is Chris, and I take care of the marketing team here at Office at Work. So let's get started. Martin, what news have you got for us?
Yeah, two updates to template chooser. Let's look at the document creation work we've done where we've improved that process. So in the past, when you created a document, for instance, in the template chooser browser, which I've opened right now, you mostly had to download the template. And we now split it, the save and open, to give you an option to actually go and save it at your desired location. So let me show you. I'm going to click on letter. And then you can see that here we have two steps, saving and opening. And in the saving step, I can now freely choose within Microsoft 365 ecosystem where to save it. I can choose to go to SharePoint. I can even search among sites. I can choose a specific site. I can choose a library. I could even choose a subfolder. And when I say OK here, I call it letter and I go and save it. Now it saved a new file in my SharePoint document library. And just be aware, I can be on any device. I can be on someone else's device. I can be in an internet cafe. And I have created a new file without actually physically putting anything on this local machine. And then I can choose to open it with Office Online. That means, again, it would not even open on this machine with the local application. But in terms of being a bit faster, I'm going to open it with my local Word. And here we are, the file's open. I'm not going to go into details of the file itself. I'm going to close it again, but I can show you in the library that the new letter file that I created. We took this experience also into Teams. So in Teams, you've got two template chooser experiences. We've got the personal app experience, which works kind of like outside of a specific team. It works all the time, so I can just click here, I get to a template chooser and I can click on a template, and also here go and choose to save it in a specific location within Teams. I could actually, if I want to go further back and choose SharePoint and store it into a SharePoint location. But the default location that you'll have in the beginning will just be the last kind of location you've chosen. And that's the difference to the second integration in Teams, where we've got the tab app, the template chooser tab app in Teams, where when I click on a template here, the default saving location will not be the last one I've chosen. It will be the current team and channel I am in. So I'm in the general channel in the marketing strategy team. And that's where it will propose where to save that file. So the benefit of having a template chooser tab app is the save location is most likely to be the right one, but you have to deploy it into every channel. And if you have the personal app, of course, you can use it all the time, but then you need to choose where to save the file. We also have got this experience in the Microsoft 365 homepage, and we can also have the template chooser here. And this is kind of a copy of the template chooser for the browser experience, where you can just choose where to save your file to among all the different storage locations within Microsoft 365. But again, if people like to work with this Microsoft Home experience, they can use the template chooser to create documents out of this experience. And the next place where we've implemented this enhancement is in the online applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And there we have come across in the past, when you're clicking on a new template and you want to create a new file, there were some security issues which just popped up the way the architecture was. And by separating these steps, we've gained some advantages in speed in doing a few things, and that will avoid these pop-ups to appear. So the flow here is much better in terms of that in the saving step, again, I'm not going to save it temporarily somewhere. I can actually really say where I want to have it. And then after the save, I already have a document called like that, obviously from before. I have to give it a different name. And then you can open it directly in Word Online. And even this step doesn't bring up a security message. So for all those guys that love working with online, this again is a far improved way of creating documents with online apps.
And the reason, I guess, it's not integrated into the desktop app and into SharePoint is because for SharePoint, it already saves it in there. And for the desktop app, there's no requirement for it, so it's only been implemented into Teams, the Teams channel, Microsoft 365, and the online version of it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the user expectation to meet the majority of users how they work. If they go to Word and create a new file, they know it's created in memory, it's not saved yet. They can throw it away or they need to save it then again. So we left that experience there for the freedom of people being able to create just new files and not having to think about save straight away. But if they do it somewhere else and they had to save it anyway, it kind of makes sense to give them more power where to save it and to make sure it's saved where it makes most sense, and not to have to force them to download it first. So I think that's the big improvement. I've been really longing for this for quite a while, and I'm super happy we've got this now. It just creates so much more value with the template chooser for the browser, for instance, because you can really look at this as a fully integrated part into Microsoft 365, and we even took it into there where you now have the template chooser for Microsoft 365 available in this application bar on the left.
Yeah, now it's like the complete package. Now everything that you require from a template chooser or from a template management system, in a sense, it's all there. Also, that we have the embedded version of it, which also adds an extra thing, which you also wanted to go into.
We have found that many of our customers actually are not yet aware of this cool extension. So the complete package, as you've just described, it kind of includes the ability to include the template chooser in different apps. So the product promise of template chooser, or the product vision of template chooser, is that people know and can trust to go to a single location to find the templates. That's one part of the promise. And the other part of the promise is we try to make sure that people don't have to wander around and search places where to find the templates. The templates are where they are already. So they are in Teams, templates are there. They're in SharePoint, templates are there. They're in Word, templates are there. They're on a browser anywhere, templates are there. But what happens if they're in a business application? Templates are not there. Well, with this iframe component, which people can integrate into their business applications, by people, in this case I mean developers, they can kind of integrate the template chooser and allow their business application to not have to handle templates and store templates and keep templates up to date. They can just inherit all the templates coming from template chooser by embedding this component here. So this demo app, if I just go and load it with this URL, it will load the template chooser, and it will most likely single sign on the user automatically. And if the user then clicks on a template, the template chooser will hand over the finished document to this business application. And the business application can then go and store it, open it, do whatever it wants to do with it. So this is what we had already. What we have not had in the past is that the business application can now include document properties or can pass in document properties to the iframe, so that we inject these properties into the file that gets created, so that they can kind of like pass in some data. Let's say they want to set the title, the document property title of this file. I can show you how that will work. I'll just insert some sample data. So this is a sample JSON, and here for the built-in document property called title, and I'm going to set it to some super title. Okay. By the way, you can test this app by just going to template-chooser-embedded-demo.officeatwork.com, and then down here under resources, if you click on sample code, you get to the GitHub repo, and you can download this app and try it out yourself. So back to the demo. If I now reload this frame with this data, and I can actually show you what this looks like. So I can copy this URL, and then I can go to a text editor and show you how this URL looks like. And you'll see it's just basically this template chooser resource or URL, but then we've added this parameter inject with this data, and this data kind of represents this data here. So if I do that, and if I now click on letter, in this preparation step, we will inject that data into the document. So if I now go and open up this letter, you will see that we have now set those properties for this file. ignore that the wizard will be running and doing its thing. I'll just go straight to the info here, and you'll see that under title, some super title, that's the text I provided, and under the navigation to get to the custom document properties, which is this list here, you can see that my property has some value and my second property has some other value. And this basically corresponds with what I've typed in here. So the new thing here is that the companies that embedded the template chooser in their business applications can now pre-populate metadata in form of document properties out of their business application dynamically, depending on the customer they're sitting on, or the use case, or the invoice number, whatever, or the invoice, and pass that on so that the template that they're using and the document that gets created from that template has that data in it already.
Yeah, that's really useful, especially for big companies that handle dozens and dozens of documents a day. Very error-free. Secondly, just a lot more efficient in doing it. And I think also, what I remember correctly is there's also in a CRM system set up one document that you want to use as a template, and then it will always use the same one in order to create it instead of having to select the template itself, right?
Yeah, let me show you that scenario. So the template chooser takes more parameters than just this document property injecting thing. It can actually link directly to a specific template. To get the link of the template, I can again use the template chooser and just go here, copy link, copy this link here. And in my demo app, I'm going to paste this link into this field here. I'm going to reload the iframe. And this time, because in the URL that I'm passing into the iframe, I have already defined a template, it will not offer the choice for a specific template. It will actually go and pre-select it. It will inject this data and it will give me the finished document. Down here again, let me go and download it. Of course, it's the letter 1. I'll go and open that. And you'll see it also has the data injected by this, but this time I didn't actually choose the template itself. So if I go here and check the properties again, you'll see that the some super title has been, and of course the custom ones have also been checked. But you just triggered an idea which I could also show is the following. Let me copy this URL and let me again put that into a text editor to show you. Again, this has the template property and it has the inject property here. You can see those two properties are there. But I'm using the template chooser embedded. If I were to use just the template chooser without the embedded, and basically having this as a link anywhere, static for instance, on my desktop or on an intranet page, and I still want this data to be injected and I want specifically this letter template to be triggered, I can copy this. I can now just get a new browser, paste that URL in there, and this will take me to the template chooser. It will take the letter template and it will inject the document properties and it will allow me to save it. And I'm going to call this letter with props. Okay, I'm going to save it and I'm going to open it directly in Word. And let's see if that URL which I had produced a letter template with the properties all set. So let me just go to File and then Info, and you should see the title, some super title, and of course if I would go to the custom properties, they would also be set.
I mean, that really incorporates everything. Template chooser front to back, really.
And while we're on template chooser embedded, maybe I should quickly also talk about the XMLPart injection option. So if you have larger data which you want to show in the body of a document, you can have your data injected into an XMLPart. And maybe I can quickly do that as a last demo. I'm going to reload this time without a template reference, which means as a user I can come and choose which template. I'm going to use the letter template. It's going to be provided to my business application. I'm now going to open it. I already have one or two open, so in this case it's going to be my letter 2. And next to the document properties that have now been set, which I can quickly prove to you again by going to File and then Info. And I'm just going here, some super token property that has been set. I can now also map the data that has been put into the XMLPart. This is available via the developer tab, and I can go to the XML schema, and I now go to the schema that we used, and that was template properties. And for instance, the subject, if I now insert this placeholder, you can see the placeholder says invitation to branch opening. And if I look in my XMLPart, I have on the subject invitation to my branch opening. So if I had my template already preset with this content control here ready, you can even think of this being your system that allows you to pass in data that is shown on the document multiple times using this injection option out of your CRM system, just with the template chooser by itself. That's the February update. I hope people will love what they see, and I'm looking forward to the next Insider.
No, I definitely enjoyed it. Also got to see, again, also for me, certain parts of the template chooser that I didn't know that much about. Also especially the embedded version, because that's more, I guess, on the technical side of it, more on the back end, not so much on the marketing, but I can see the extreme value that it would bring to any company, really. Other than that, I would have to say thank you for watching, everyone. And if you have any ideas of anything that you would like to see in the coming episodes, or any ideas that you would like us to implement into any of our products, please always let us know, either by email, within the comments, or wherever else you can find us.